Mayor. Good evening. My name is Angela Ferris. I'm a postal inspector.
And I'm Jerry Ramirez, also a U.S. Postal Inspector.
And we represent the federal law enforcement side for the Postal Service. And we actively conduct federal investigations pertaining to mail theft. Last year, we arrested over 200 mail thieves in Southern California. We actually love arresting mail thieves. We're very passionate about it. It's a lot of fun. Those are the best times in my career. I've worked a variety of assignments from revenue fraud investigations to fraudulent workman's comp, and also mail theft in the North Valley all the way up to Palmdale, Lancaster. I did that for a few years. And most recently, I've been working on mail theft prevention, and actually I just became the supervisor of this team as of last Friday. So anyways, we do love arresting mail thieves, but our agency recognized that there is a big need for prevention because we are not going to arrest our way out of this problem. We are outnumbered big time. And so, especially in Southern California, mail theft, it is on the rise in Southern California. And so we are the only team actually that exists in the country that is designated to just working on mail theft prevention. And we just started last March. And so what we do is we work with communities. We attend meetings like this. We try to make ourselves more visible. We want to hear your complaints and your concerns. You know, by the time we actually talk to someone on the phone or in person, oftentimes they're so frustrated just because they feel like their complaint hasn't been heard. But we want you to know that we care about it, that we're here, and also we are working to kind of bridge a gap that we recognize that also existed between really within ourselves, between the Postal Service side, the customer service issue side, if there's delivery issues or mail theft issues. We want to work with the local post offices, but we also work with upper management. We work with district managers, postmasters, and we are truly trying to figure out the best ways that we can either educate the public about prevention, mail theft prevention, or if we can actually make suggestions and recommendations for security enhancements in certain areas, such as, you know, improving the quality of the locks that are used on mailboxes. Also, we are working on kind of innovative designs, modifying collection boxes, things of that nature. We're reaching out to our headquarters and we're telling them mail theft is rampant out in Southern California, and we need your help to try to eradicate this. And like I said, we are also working with other, you know, community leaders. We are also meeting now with congressional representatives when we have a congressional complaint. We're not just simply, you know, responding to the letter. We want to have some FaceTime with them so that they have a better understanding too of the situation. So when their constituents come in, they can kind of say, this is what we're up against. And we do have a big resource issue that is a big problem. We are a federal entity. We're very small, and we rely heavily on our local law enforcement because they provide us with excellent cases, excellent mail theft cases. Because oftentimes what happens in terms of mail theft is they will stop a vehicle, a traffic stop per se, and they might discover bags of stolen mail. And they will call us, and if everything is done right, we are able to pursue federal prosecution, and they end up serving 85% of their time if we're able to do that. So again, we love arresting mail thieves, and that's something we really enjoy doing. But we know it's not going to solve the issue. So we're here to try to, we want to listen to your complaints and your concerns, and we want to try to figure out a way to address the issues that you're having. We also have two other representatives from the Postal Service. I also wanted to introduce them to you. We have Javier Beltran, who's representing the Hollywood Station, and Rogelio Lozano, who's representing the Sunset Station. Maybe they can even address some of the customer service or delivery issues that you might be dealing with. I also wanted to let you know that for our team, a big part of what we're trying to do is facilitate or figure out ways so that you guys can make complaints to us in a way that's easier. And it is so important that you report mail theft incidents to your local law enforcement because they want to know what's going on, but so do we. We really do. We have a 24-hour assistance line, and the number is 1-877. Take the time, go ahead and put it in your phone. 876-2455. And there is a mail theft option. And we strongly encourage you to let us know about any and all mail theft incidents, because if it's not reported, it doesn't happen. And I just cannot reiterate that enough. If it's not reported, then it doesn't happen. And we use that data to let us know where we're having our most problematic areas and what kinds of mail theft problems are going on. And what we do is we'll send inspectors out to do kind of roll call presentations with local law enforcement, because they're frequently getting new patrol officers, and they are really our eyes and ears out there. They're our front line of defense. And so we tell them, hey, this is what you guys need to look for. If you guys come across stolen mail, call us. We want to help out.
Could you give the number out again, please?
Sure can. It's 1-877-876-2455.
Thank you.
No problem. And so I just wanted to emphasize the importance of reporting all of these incidents, and that we really do appreciate your input and for inviting us here tonight. I did notice one hand back there. Yes.
Just a process question. I noticed it's about 4 or 5 out of the last 7 days our mailbox is open with something in it. So do you actually want us to call 4 or 5 out of the 7 days, or call at the end of the week and say 4 out of 5 of our days this week our mail was taken? Or Kirkwood.
Is it a locking mailbox? No, it's just one that.
No, but our locking mailbox got pulled off of the thing.
Okay, yeah.
It almost seems to be more interesting than when it is lost or when it seems to be harder to get into. I think out of cementing it in or something. I don't know.
Sure. I encourage you to report it as often as it occurs. I really do. Take the time to do it. It does eventually get rolled up, and we start to take notice. And then also, if we have that information, and if somebody gets arrested locally in your neck of the woods, and lo and behold, they have your mail in the backseat of their car or in a backpack, we can say, gee, this all makes sense. She filed a complaint. We know that they still, there's no question, and we have a true victim. And that's definitely how we put this all together. So please, I encourage you to report it. Yes?
Report to you or the police department or both?
Both. I strongly encourage reporting to both entities.
Let me piggyback on that real quick for our next question. By calling us with how many every day, it shows a pattern, and it shows us where we need to deploy our officers. And with that, we can get more deployment into your neighborhood for certain times of the day for that.
But Ralph, we've had our neighbors call, and when they call the police station, they're told this is a postal service issue, and they don't really take it up board. So what do we do?
That's yesterday. We had a big conversation about that. Call us, we'll take care of it.
Okay.
Yes.
Great.
If I may, I wanted to just introduce myself. I'm Teresa with Congressman Adam Schiff's office, and I work with postal issues. Hi. I also wanted to say that you're always welcome to, if you've been a victim of mail theft, to contact our office in writing. Contact our office in writing. If you've been a victim of mail theft, we will forward it to the U.S. Postal Inspection Service, and they will do an inquiry on our behalf. So that's another avenue that you also have. So thank you.
Right there, go ahead.
quick?
Hi, Angela, I'm Randy. I also work in prevention. I've installed more than a dozen locking mailboxes in the last year, and
I appreciate it.
The people that I work with, their streets are hit almost every night. We feel as though if there was a sting operation or a stakeout, you could get them tonight.
You know, that's something I would we have, believe me, we've talked about it. We're in a very, I have to admit, we're in a very reactive state where we are in a position where we are sending agents out. We have a duty. We have a 24-hour duty line where we are sending people out just to local law enforcement to follow up on the mail thieves that they're arresting. And that's something that we often entertain. We have to get a DA on board usually. The U.S. Attorney's Office, they're not exactly equipped to necessarily work those type of cases because we do need the assistance with the local law enforcement to make some type of sting like that work because we just don't have the manpower to facilitate something like that on our own.
Many of our streets are like dead ends or way up in the hills, and we rarely see a patrol car. We see them responding to trouble, but we don't have really
So you just want more patrol visibility,
we would
and then also the idea of maybe a sting operation.
Yeah,
so
a
that's something
stakeout.
we can definitely talk with local law enforcement and see if that's something. I work right next to our mail theft team supervisor who handles all the investigations. I'd be more than happy to talk to her and to see if that's something that their team would be willing to facilitate or work out with.
A few of us have
the
actually
local
chased mail thieves, and you don't want that. You don't want us
No,
to
we
do
don't.
that. I
No,
know
we
you
don't, because oftentimes mail thieves, they do have weapons on them or burglary tools. So we just strongly encourage people to just be the best witnesses possible. That's what we really need.
Can I just want? Sorry, I just want to jump on top of what Randy's saying. Can we get a run? Can the community that's gathered here get a rundown on what has been going on and what has been done to address? Because the community, I mean, it's these guys, these mail thieves have almost become characters, like the orange vest ladies. Well, they're known names. They become caricatures, and it really, as Randy's saying, is really going to become a nuisance, and it's going to become identity thief. But then we also have people in the community who have, not that I agree with it, and I'm sure you guys won't endorse it, but take on sort of vigilante action on themselves, their own nighttime stakeouts, chasing people down the road. And I know that's a horrendous thing to do, but that's the level of frustration that the community has sort of risen to. So just for the people gathered, can you sort of hear what has been done for, what has been done with the people that have been reported?
Thank you.
Sure.
As you know, yes, you guys call it in. I'll give you a perfect example. Carol Sidlow. Just the other morning, Tuesday morning, calls me, hey, the ladies up here, or the guys in the white truck up here going to the recycle bins. As well, they go through the mail. I go up there, I chase them down. I locate them. I find them. One with the red vest that we're talking about, I tossed that truck and went through all the bags of recyclables they had in there. I didn't find one stick of mail in there. Did not find it. I've done it 3 times with that truck. I cited them twice in the area. Next time I told them they come back, I'm taking the truck. Driver, his license is questionable. Yes, I will take it. I've been looking for it now. Carol gave me a tip the other day. I missed it by minutes. So, yeah, we are reacting to the phone calls, but you need to call the 1-877 Ask LAPD. I know it takes a while, but you get through, we'll respond. As far as when we do catch them on mail, yes, we will work with our co-partners here. We'll pass it on. Almost every drug dealer that we catch down in the Hollywood area has a backpack. And in that backpack, he has credit cards, mail, you name it, phones that are in everybody else's name but his name. And it's a friend. I don't know how it got there. So we got to contact every entity to step in and help us with that.
I was just going to piggyback off of that. So yes, we are working hard to enforce the problem. The U.S. Attorney's Office, they have been amazing. Usually, we had a feeling like our cases were always at the bottom. They have gone to the top, and they are actively working our cases. Actually, Jerry was just going to...
Yeah, I'm also on the mail theft prevention team, but I work in the same hallway as the mail theft inspectors. And just this afternoon, I discussed a case, and it's still active, so I can't release too many details. But LAPD did detain some individuals. They had mail They contacted us, and now we're pursuing federal prosecution on that. I went through the mail today and I mapped it. A lot of it is for the streets here in the hills, and on the other side, Studio City, stuff like that. So we are catching some of these people. We're trying to take it federal. Again, I take guys to prison all the time, and we enjoy it because, you know, dealing with the victims, you see, hey, you know what, yeah, these guys may have a drug problem, something like that, but you guys are the victims in the end, so.
And also, we always interview the suspects, we always attempt to interview them. What he relayed to us is that he dresses up very nice, that he blends in your community, and that he targets this area. And so, we don't want people to, you know, take on vigilante justice, but we want you to be, but we want you guys to be great witnesses because those are excellent leads, and we were able, we will get federal prosecution.
About working closely with the USPIS and our security officer and working together and getting a solution in place for catching some of the specific people that we've identified in the canyon?
Sure, so we're working also with the management of the post office and alerting the carriers if you see something suspicious. Because these carriers, some of them have been carrying mail for 10, 20 years. They know all the vehicles in the neighborhood, they know who belongs there. If you see something suspicious, hey, write it down, report it right away, and then we can follow up on that tip. Again, we don't recommend that you chase these guys yourselves, but if you do get a plate, something that we can follow up on, I mean, we've been able to get good search warrants just from a plate, running a plate. We sit on a house, we can identify people and get a search warrant that way.
Is there a reason why you guys aren't, Officer Sanchez would be more than happy to ask his captain for some assistance, and because it's happening every single night, can you guys make an agreement tonight for the people in the room that you will work together and work with the LAPD and catch it, just to get some satisfaction? Every night.
Most definitely.
If we can get a deployment issue, that's a deployment issue, meaning we have to send cars out to certain areas. But
I mean, we have people who are getting checks, worth $20,000 checks stolen regular. I mean,
we can get together with the captain, see if he can get a unit to be deployed at nighttime, especially for them. In fact, maybe an undercover unit that can go out there and set it in black and white.
And you know, you have my commitment. I actually wrote that same note down. Whether I needed to make it official or just make it unofficial, and regardless of the results, and when she offered that, I'll make sure my office, works to coordinate between the two agencies. And then regardless of the result of whether we do a sting or whatever we do, we'll make sure we publicize it so we can let the thieves know that, I mean, it would be great if we could catch one, but even if we don't, we'll let them know that we're doing these secret surprise things. So.
President's chasing them down, almost catching them. I'm sure someone in a car.
Yeah, so my office will work with LAPD and the U.S. Postal Service and try to coordinate something.
We have a question on this end of the room too.
The gentleman in the back first.
My name's Charles. And I appreciate what y'all are saying. I just sort of a question, just as a resident of the canyon, what are like your 3 biggest reasons that you think are causing for the mail theft, and then what are your solutions for it? Now, me personally, I've kind of given up on the whole mailbox thing. I have a 24-hour lockbox down the street. Nothing's ever been stolen. I never have to worry about it. It's there all the time. I don't have anybody going through my things. Nothing's ever been taken. I don't have anything missing. I don't have to worry about the safety in front of my house. So I'm just wondering, outside of these things, because there's obviously all these reactionary things, and I think maybe the vigilante stuff obviously isn't very safe and not recommended, but what are the causes and your solutions that you could recommend to us other than necessarily just calling the police or being vigilant?
The cause of mail theft, the common thread, it's meth. That's the bottom line. And it's the truth. I've interviewed hundreds of mail thieves, and I have not met or talked to a single one that does not have a drug addiction. And it's always meth. So unfortunately, they commit mail theft to feed their habit. And oftentimes, mail will be exchanged for meth. So the question is, what is the solution? I don't have a solution for meth. I wish I did, but I'm telling you, that's the problem. That it really is the root of the problem.
Yes, I keep hearing the same word over and over. Is at night.
Yes,
Every night.
yes, you're right.
Nighttime is when this is happening. At
It's
night.
true.
I get my mail every day before I go to bed. between when I get home and when I go to bed, I get the mail. I know not everybody can do that, but I think if everybody is proactive in that way, then nighttime isn't a problem for that person, and there's less victims.
Prevention is what we're talking about right here. If you can take the mail in as soon as you get home, it causes them, they open empty mailboxes. They don't see nothing.
Right,
Some
because
people
you
have.
may do it, but your neighbor doesn't,
Yeah.
so then they're just inviting, and it's true.
Oh,
no,
well, make it deal with your neighbor. We'll get each other's mail and, you know.
Yeah, most definitely.
Hey.
Or, you know, if you can, divert it to your work, whatever you gotta do, you know, to make it a safer situation.
But my mail's getting delivered at 7:30 a.m.
Yeah, mine too.
It's getting so late.
I gotta go up in my
So what do you
pajamas.
do about that?
I have a solution about that too.
Go ahead.
I have a question about the cluster boxes, like our cluster box where a bunch of us have, it's sponsored by the post office. A bunch of us agreed to get our mail in one location. It's faster for the postman who's overworked in this area. If we all had more of a place to agree to get the mail and lock it up, and there's some red tape at the post office. A lot of us live near or on the old fire roads that are cut through there. We wanted to put a cluster box at the end of our old fire road, but because of a regulation at the post office, they will not put it back there because it's not a public road. Why can't that red tape be altered and let us put the mailboxes where we say this is a safe hidden place that we all know about, and it's not where somebody can just hop out the car, break off the back of the lockbox and steal the mail and zoom on. I would love that solution, but what do you think?
That generally, that has to be worked out with the local post office, the postmaster, or the supervisor there.
Do you know them? I've already tried.
Well, they do, but they do have the discretion. That's at their discretion. I don't get to make that call. We handle the law enforcement side. But we do also make recommendations. If they ask us to assist them, we will. We would say, yes, we would like this to be put here, but they also have to balance with, you know, making sure that it's delivered in a timely way. And so that's kind of the struggle I think that you're probably experiencing.